Any author can ruminate about blood and love and fear and courage, and many have. Far less frequent, though, are most writers' opportunities to theorize on conjoinment and subsequent separation. And for this simple reason, conjoinment, in its nascent denotation, is an uncommon thing. Twins are rare, conjoined sets many times rarer. In Cutting for Stone, Abraham Verghese explores conjoinment and separation in both a literal sense and as a theme and metaphor for life and interpersonal relationships, as we see when these concepts mold the character of the mirror-image twins, Shiva and Marian. They arrive before their appointed time at Missing Hospital, in the center of a train wreck of a birth that nearly killed them both. Despite this trauma, when Marian, who must have had an exceptional memory, looked back years later, what he recalled most strongly was the shock of being parted from Shiva, as the finger of flesh which had connected their heads for 8 months was severed. This physical separation, which was but the work of a moment, would come to represent their mental and emotional separation, although that less tangible split would take years to reach any sort of fruition. Shiva and Marian lived up to their name, spending their early life in perfect synchronization, with one mode of dress, one manner of eating, and one's words counting for both. The thin lines separating them inched open as they grew, and Shiva began speaking for himself, learned to dance without Marian at his side, and explored other interests that Marian did not share, such as his gynecological pursuits in the Virgin Clinic. Additionally, as their intellects and emotions matured, it became clear that their minds were indeed mirrored, not because they appeared similar to each other, but because they were perfect opposites in desire, motivation, and method. This, more than anything, drove them apart, as Marian and Shiva became increasingly less capable of understanding one another. Their dramatic split, following that memorable birth, came when Marian was forced to flee the country in the face of the Iturean Revolution, or risk being charged as a rebel. Even though roughly 8,000 miles were to divide Shiva and Marian, Marian took with him a piece of Shiva, the most valuable thing he owned that was removable and portable. This piece was, of course, Shiva's beloved Gray's Anatomy. It was a reminder that no distance could ever truly separate what nature had decreed to be one. And as Verghese's story drew to a close, Shiva rejoined Marian and gave him something else that at the time was generally considered to be neither removable nor transferable, a lobe of his own liver. Though Shiva died following the operation, not even the grave could truly separate Shiva and Marian, and when Marian literally carried a living section of his brother inside. Separation is not silent. Few conjoinments are capable of going easy into that good night. When they break, it is messy and violent and loud, and always leaves some token of the attachment behind. It was reiterated repeatedly in Cutting for Stone. For Thomas Stone's scars to Marian Shiva's liver, separation, devastating as it may be, never goes deep enough to completely divide two,